Welcome everyone. Welcome. Today's topic, we're going to talk about the 504 Rehabilitation Act. Well, mostly Roberta.
I'm mostly going to talk about it because I have a mobility issue. I just had surgery on my foot. It's nothing permanent, but I am so grateful for Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act because that means I have ramps that I can get into buildings. There are automatic door openers so that I can crutch into buildings, handicap bathrooms. Always a favorite of people on crutches and wheelchairs and moms of toilet training children.
Mm-hmm.
But the history behind the 504 Act is interesting. In 1972, the Rehabilitation Act was signed into law, but they never enforced Section 504. Section 504 made it mandatory for any building or organization that received federal funding had to be inclusive and accessible. There was a lack of enforcement in public buildings, including schools, public transportation, other places where human interactions take place were inaccessible to people, especially people with mobility or communication issues. Mm-hmm. This is a travesty, and the disabilities rights activists were a very strong group of people who had been behind the scenes, not very visible until the day they took over the health, education, and welfare building in San Francisco. And let me get the specifics of that. Just an amazing group of people. So now it's 1973, a full year after the Rehabilitation Act was signed into law. Section 504 was finally signed into law after, I think it was, the takeover was 100 days. I have a timeline here. So they occupied the building on April 25th. And on
And by the way, while she's finding that, I'm Sherry. I'm a mother of a child with Down syndrome. And, I use a lot of the access for him, when we've flown, getting in and out of buildings, especially when he was younger. He had low muscle tone. So we used the handicap ramps. It's wonderful using the handicap bathrooms. And even though he's older now, if his father or his brother wasn't around, I'd still take him in the woman's room with me and use the handicap.
Just to make sure that he's safe too, yes. Especially in the public bathroom.
Yeah. I have been that crazy mother with her foot in the door of the men's bathroom listening.
or sending in a trustworthy man to say, could you please check on my son? Yes. I've done that too. I misspoke. It was April 21st.
What was April 21st?
The day that they signed Section 504 in the law. It was the 17th day of the sit-in. So 17 days, I can't do that math, hold on, 17 days. So it was a 5-day sit-in. I'm sorry. I was probably reading something else that was 100 days long. The amazing thing about this was that all of the people that took over the health, education, and welfare building were people with disabilities. They were people in wheelchairs. They were members of the deaf community. They were members of the blind and cognitively impaired community. And they made a conscious decision they were demonstrating outside the building, and people were kind of walking by them and not really acknowledging them. They made a conscious decision to walk into the building and stage a sit-in. The reason they were so successful was because they were supported. And they were supported by a wide range of groups. They were supported by the Teamsters. They were supported by the Black Panthers. They were supported by local churches and by the owner of a local lesbian bar. They were in San Francisco. And I think that this really speaks to our connectivity as a people, and how, the struggles of real people speak to us. And if we band together, we can make a change.
Yeah, change it.
Things have not progressed very much since the enforcement of Section 504. As I crutch around, I'm discovering that a lot of private buildings don't have automatic doors.
They're grandfathered in.
Yeah, or they're grandfathered in, or they have the bare minimum so they're not really accessible. I have to ask for help. Sometimes opening doors. I'm about to take a plane trip, and we'll do a video when I come back about what it was like flying as a person with a mobility issue. I have requested assistance in the airport and boarding the plane, so we're going to see how that works out.
Yeah, I've had no problems flying with my son who has Down syndrome, and we've asked for accommodations, even last minute accommodations, and I got them. But Down syndrome is a very identifiable and well-known disability, so I personally didn't. I haven't flown in a while with him, because we've been living through a pandemic, so we haven't been on a plane in a while. So we'll see how Roberta does.
Yeah, we will. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm very, very grateful for 504. So if you've ever pushed a stroller up a ramp, used a handicap bathroom, or because you had a young child with you, benefited from a sign language interpreter or braille signage, then you thank Section 504, and you thank the disabilities rights activists that spent, I'm so sorry, I keep getting numbers wrong today, 17 days occupying the Health, Education, and Welfare building in San Francisco. So, well done.
Yes. Thank our predecessors, right?
Thank you to our predecessors. Now let's pick up the torch and all work together, because what a diverse group of people working together to make a change. We'll revisit this topic again. Don't forget to smash all those buttons.
Subscribe, smash the buttons, and hashtag 504 education plan.
That's right. We appreciate you, and drop a comment in the bottom. Like, give us a specific question or something else that you're interested in learning about, and we'll take a deep dive again. Yes. We'll be back after I take my plane trip. Let you know how it went.
All right. Thank you, guys.